There's something about creativity that I feel like it makes me feel like a kid. When we're kids, we're kind of fresh, we're new, we kind of have no limits, Someone asks us a question, we're like, binoculars on a unicorn, Just like, the kids are just so creative. And when creativity is involved in my life, I feel so good. I feel happy. I feel like I'm me. And it's part of the creativity. It's like I come back to the perspective that everything is art and everything is beautiful in its own little ways. I could come out here with the camera, and even though I'm walking up and down a canal, I can still find beauty in cracks and certain rocks and just with angles and the ugliness of it too, or even the contrast of nature and industrialism and creativity comes all the time to me. I find myself always having to be creative. Even in life, looking for a job, I start getting creative in terms of, what am I gonna do? What haven't I tried yet too? What would I like to do? Brainstorming and thinking beyond too, not going backwards. What have I done? What have I done? That's cool, What haven't I done yet though? What's new? What's something new and something I'll have to get creative again in order to get used to or learn to be, learn to kind of shape into another thing, what's my next phase, I guess you could even say. It's my next phase. But I love being creative. It just, like I said, it makes me feel like a kid again. I feel free. No one can tell me anything. I'm being creative. I'm dancing, I'm drawing, I'm writing poetry. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing because I'm in this. And when I'm collaborating with people too, oh my gosh, that's so fun. It's like now we're being kids together. It's really cool. I like it, and I like how other people kind of open up too. You can kind of see a difference in other people. When I'm not creative, I get in such a funk sometimes. It's like, and what I do when I don't feel creative, I'll watch TV. Listen to music. I'll listen to music and start dancing. But yeah, sometimes I don't want to be creative, and I'm just tired. I'm making stuff all the time, and it is healing for me, and it helps me throughout my days, but art kind of takes me away, so being out of it brings me back to what's here and what is, reality. When I'm outside, I'm taking everything in. Everything is energy, and I use it. I guess it's really rare I don't ever feel creative. When I don't feel creative, it's when I'm not feeling good. When I'm around certain people, sometimes I don't feel very creative. I think it's me being really sensitive to everything around me, so I can't really focus. My mind's thinking about all these other things instead of focusing on what I'm doing. And when I'm around other people, it's a big difference than when I'm alone. When I'm alone, it's like a whole nother world and a whole nother story. Because I understand myself the most, so I feel the most comfortable like that. And I like it. I like, people always want to hang out and stuff, and I like going out and hanging out, but it's hard explaining to people sometimes that I'm kind of more of a one-on-one person, Groups can be tricky because there's a lot of energies that I'm feeling, But for some reason, like a huge crowd, it's like there's so much energy, I'm lost in it. So now I'm just a drop of water in an ocean, like, which essentially I feel like that's what I am already. So in huge crowds, I can feel pretty okay. In smaller groups, though, it's my attention and focus can really feed into these specific energies around me. It could be really overwhelming, and I feel very flustered sometimes. Sometimes I'll go home and I'll just feel like I was tossed back and forth almost. Like, whew, that was a lot to do. It's like doing 5 exercises at once. Reading about symbolism and reading about cultures and people's ideas, people's beliefs, even learning about the chakras right now. Reading in general and learning all these different things really help my art. I get visions from when I'm reading, and sometimes those end up being paintings and drawings. The times when I don't feel creative, I think that's another thing I'll do too. Yeah, is just read. I'll read, and that's good because creating is putting out. You know, you're putting out stuff. So the opposite of that is, you know, taking in. So often I'll like to read. I'll eat. It's funny, I don't eat a lot because I like to create. It's funny. But when I'm not creating, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll eat. It's like, I probably should have ate this morning, but my body's like, create time, woohoo! Like, we're up, let's get creating. It's great, I love it. I watch a lot of cartoons. Cartoons really make me happy. Funny shows make me happy. So whenever I'm not creative, you know, that's another thing I'll input into myself is things that are funny, positive, or like visually like interesting, because those are things that I want to put out. You are what you eat, and you are what you surround yourself with too. If you think about those things, it really helps with manifesting what you're trying to even put out. Creating a vibe, creating an energy to yourself. So when people are around you, they feel it. And I hope that people feel that with me. I think sometimes I can come off as a bit sad or down or depressing because, you know, I do have these feelings that you know are kind of tied into me. So I try to emit this other energy, so people can feel comfortable around me and safe. You know, like they can say what they want to say and stuff. But I know sometimes, you know, that energy isn't so like highly vibrating. It can be pretty low, and usually though, if I do feel those ways, I will reach out to someone who I feel will not just pick up my energy, but also be reciprocated in the sense of I know I have something to offer them too, which is my love as a friend, because I do love my friends. So yeah, being creative, it helps a lot practicing that. When you're stranded out in the middle of nowhere, what are you going to do if you're not very creative? You don't know how to think outside the box or think of ideas, think of ways to help yourself, you know, to help the situation. Being creative in art really, I feel like creativity is a muscle you got to use, and it can be used in all aspects in life. Meditating can help with that. Meditating can help with creativity just in the form of, you know, brainstorming. And you can find creativity in that. Being in nature, I find creativity. Find time to get creative, you know. Something simple. If you're someone who finds yourself feeling depressed often, you know, just get up and try different things, you know, get creative, go for a walk, read a book, talk to a friend, go shopping, you know, I don't know, figure out something that's just different as a hobby, and so you can like get yourself out of your head, out of your mind, and into the world, you know, into the world around you. It's a beautiful world out here. Like I said, I can look everywhere and find beauty in everything. It's out here, you just gotta look for it.